Connor's here to show us a super interesting salmon dish. This is a bit of a fusion style way of cooking it.
Yeah, there is a bit of a mixture. There is Greek elements through here, but then I worked in Japanese restaurants my whole life as a restaurant manager. So we've got some togarashi, we've got some chili crunch as well. So it just works for some reason though.
Yeah, I love interesting dishes that I have never tasted before, so let's get into it.
Beautiful. We're going to start by roasting the tomatoes. So if you can chop those tomatoes in half, and then I'll start building the tray that it all gets baked in.
Absolutely.
So we have shallots just chopped in half as well. Garlic, you just need to take the peel off. The best thing about this is it's actually really simple. And then the whole olives go in as well.
Okay.
And then we're going to throw all the tomatoes through there as well.
All right, so little tomatoes. And when you've got super ripe tomatoes...
Well, there's no other way to do them really, is there?
Exactly.
This is going to get dressed with olive oil, some salt and pepper, and then we'll finish with some thyme on top as well.
Do you want me to pick the leaves or leave it whole?
No, the best thing about this dish is everything goes on top.
Yeah, okay, great.
And then a bit of salt over everything, and then a few cracks of black pepper.
How pretty does that look?
It looks great already, and then that's going to get roasted in the oven at 220 degrees for about 45 minutes. We really want it nice and blistering and those tomatoes cook through.
Okay.
Sweet, so now this is roasted, nice little colour and everything. I'm going to get you to grab all the ingredients off to start making the salsa as I just pull the leaves off the thyme. And the colour on all the alliums, on the garlic, the shallot, it just gives it so much flavour. So even the salsa itself isn't really that Greek of a concept, but for some reason it all just kind of works together.
Very nice. And how do you want me to chop all of this?
So you're just going to chop that really finely into a salsa. We're just going to dress that salsa, and that's what's going to work as our sauce on top of the salmon at the end.
Oh, yum.
Whilst you're chopping for the salsa, I'm going to start working on the salmon. We have a skin-off side of salmon here. It does have to be a side because the cooking time is really specific to how this is done. Okay. We have some togarashi, which is Japanese spiced pepper. And then we also have some paprika as well.
Okay.
And that's going through where all the thyme and the olive oil and the olives have kind of seeped out their sauce there. So we're using everything that we already have.
Very nice.
A little bit more olive oil just to make sure that we can coat it properly. And then also a touch of salt as well.
Okay.
And just mix that through. And that is going to become the marinade to the salmon.
Wow.
So grab the salmon and then you just want to lovely get that marinade all over essentially. So we've lowered the oven to 150 degrees and this is going to go in for 20 minutes flat.
Okay.
Salmon's looking great, so I'm going to start breaking it up into 3 to 4 pieces. And whilst I do that, can you just finish the salsa with a bit of balsamic vinegar, some salt and olive oil, and we'll pop that all on top.
Now, I want to have a look at that salmon, how perfectly cooked it is. Ooh, just right.
And you're worried.
Never worried when you're in the kitchen, Connor.
I was worried. So yeah, 20 minutes every time at 150 just seems to do the job for some reason for a side of salmon.
Yeah, I just think it's the most forgiving fish. If you've got people coming over, this will feed 8 people.
Easily.
Easily. And it's forgiving. So get in the oven, like we said, 150 for 20 minutes, and then all of these lovely ingredients to go with it.
Absolutely.
So I might just add a little bit more vinegar.
Yeah, so we've got balsamic, a bit of salt, a bit of olive oil going in there. And what you really want to do is get that nice balance between acidic and salt in that salsa because it's just going to work really well with salmon, which is quite chunky, looking gorgeous. So with the salsa, we're just going to spoon it around in a circle just over the top, just showcasing that perfect cook as well because you've worked this hard, you want to show it off to all your guests coming over.
Very nice.
And then once the salsa goes on, all you've got to do is finish with a bit of crunchy chili oil and fresh dill. And I love that kind of heat that kicks in. We've got that sour, salty, and that spice to finish all off with.
Right.
So just a little drizzle, depending on, how sensitive you are to chili and heat, just a little bit on top will always work. And then if you can just pluck some dill pieces.
I'd love to.
I think... I love dill on everything, but a bit of colour is always lovely when you've got so many reds and oranges.
That's the Greek roots.
It is the Greek
roots.
Right, yeah, nothing is done and dressed until you've got some dill on top.
Yeah, exactly. I think the next dinner party, I am going to serve this because my friends are going to love these flavours for sure.
Definitely, and the best thing about this is it's all done in one tray. We haven't actually used that much equipment, and who doesn't love some salmon and salsa on a plate?
Yeah, absolutely. I keep thinking if I had any leftover and this was cold, it would still be just as delicious.
Flaky salmon salad the next day.
Oh,
yeah.
Win, win, win.
Absolutely.
With Connor's dish.